How's everybody doing? Welcome to Solution Seekers. I'm Kelly. I know it's been a while for you people who watch me on a consistent basis, but there's been a few things going on lately that have shocked me mentally, physically, spiritually, a bunch of health issues, but it's just like the one thing I try to advocate in most aspects of my life. It's never about never what happens. It's about just how am I going to deal with it. And I gotta say, man, I just been dealing with it, and I'm not gonna allow anything to rob me of my joy. You know, happiness. I think it's something that's temporary, and it's usually something external. Whereas my joy is something that's it's deeply internal, and the stages and phases or the obstacles or hurdles as life presents them to me. I just have to deal with them. Sometimes I run to them. Sometimes I'll have to take a moment to sit back and not even think about it, play some PlayStation, work on my website. Sometimes I'm on Twitter or different social medias until the point comes that, okay, let's deal with this. I kind of been brainstorming about how I want to proceed. And, I used to always look at it as a process, but a lot of times, if I can change and enlarging my perspective allows me to take on whatever shows up. You know, I've been having some health issues initially, but now I have some more that's popping up, and to the life of me, I'm concerned, but it's just not that important. What's important is my response to it. The stages and phases of life are always going to be there. I go to my mailbox, there's a problem. If I look around at my roommate, there's a problem. If I come to my friends, there's always a problem. So, okay, how do we deal with this problem? Well, you pay it, you deal with it. If you don't deal with it, it's going to deal with you. Over the last few weeks, I've really been hammering it down to a lot of my Uber passengers. And if you're watching, if you're one of my Uber passengers, hey, how you doing? But it's it's things are what they are. Like this old dude used to always tell me, if you did what you've always did, you're always going to get what you've always gotten. And you know, in 2020, that makes a lot of sense because I like to think that when in this year, which is completely different from any of the years prior. I'm 52 years old. You see the beard? Yes, the beard. I'm shaving this off tomorrow. It's getting to be a mess. I'm embarrassed of it. But anyway, my perspective on 2020 is that I'm trying to thrive through it. I'm trying to thrive through the opposition, right? Economic uncertainty, the election year, two bad choices. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people are homeless. A lot of people are dying. There's a war building up in Asia. There's the Russians. There's all this mess. But I can't control none of that. But what I can control is my response to it. How am I responding to it? And is it really that important for me to respond to it emotionally? Because you know what? Most things in life are going to be as they are. And my perspective is going to tell me if things are good or bad or indifferent. The indifferent is it's just what it is. And also like to think that well, no, I don't like to think how I start looking at my perspective has changed to the degree that things are never good or bad. They're just as they are. If I don't like them, I need to change them. What's required for me to change them changes from day to day, week to week, month to month. But in 2020, I'm just gonna have to deal with them to the best of my ability, everything is open on how I'm gonna deal with that. Um, but as long as I'm not harming nobody, and it's not dangerous, it's not illegal, of course, but and trying to maintain my sobriety and my mental health and my emotional well-being because all those things, my emotional health and my mental health are just like there's a correlation between the two. If one's going down, the other one's going down. If one's going up, the other one should be going up. They should follow. There's a certain balance level between them. But And that's where I put most of my emphasis on. You know, it's never what happens. It's never what happens. But where's my solution? Then typically I've always found that my solutions are always within me. But if I don't ever invest in my inner attributes, like, like integrity, having some morals, some values, accountability, responsibility, these things kind of like help me just to approach a certain situation that may seem hazardous, may seem I might have a lot of fear, um, but I kind of remove the fear because I don't care about the outcomes. If the outcomes are not something that I really like, well then I'm just going to have to change it up a little bit because things are going to be what they're going to be, and I'm going to do what I got to do in order to keep my mental health and my emotional health at a balance. And sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. But it all depends on the actions on which I initiate in my life. I haven't always initiated a lot of good ones. Sometimes I was just always just like poor me or why this or I've always played the victim as opposed to playing the victor. So you take the V and then you flip it, and then it starts a process of just grinding everything out and trying to evolve or one of my main one of my main goals is always reaching for a higher level of consciousness. I do a lot of reading, I do a lot of studying, I do a lot of thinking, um, but just trying to put everything together in a way that makes sense for me. And when I try to elaborate that to some people, a lot of times I'm taken back and I gotta ask them, man, does this make any sense? Because sometimes I think I'm crazy, but I like to think that everybody is crazy, but only the successful will ever admit it. But so we'll just see. We'll just see how everything goes up. But I just wanted to. I haven't been on here for a while, so I just kind of wanted to check back in, and I'm starting to get back into the roll of things, trying to get back into the mix, and very slowly. But slow motion is better than no motion. So if you haven't subscribed, if you're watching, I hope you got some quality and value out of this. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and welcome to my very small community, because I like to think that there's just so much depth and weight in a smaller community as opposed to just having it a really massive intent. And I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say about this. Thank you.